Welcome back to another video, guys. On today's video we are going to be feeding my baby Senegal parrots. There they are. There's the first baby and the second one. This second one's about 4 weeks old. He's pushing close to 5 now. So set up your little area. I use NutriBird as my formula. Been using it for years. It seems to work really well. There we go. Just a cup of hot water. Got another cup with your syringe. This is a 2 ml syringe. You can use bigger, but this is fine. And I'll show you 2 different methods of how to feed your parrots. Okay, so I tend to use at their age about 14 ml of water, 7 ml each. The bigger one does usually have a little bit more than the smaller one, as expected. So we'll get that now. So there we go, 40 ml of water. Then we get the NutriBird. I just kind of average, to be honest. Just need to play around with it to see if you can find the right consistency for your baby parrots. I'll show you what we're looking for in a minute. Give it a good mix, make sure there's no lumps. As you can see, that's a bit too loose. Add a little bit more. Once you've done this a few times, you'll start to get your average of how much you actually need. But saying that, as the birds start to get older, you will need to add more water because they'll start to eat more. Therefore, you need to change how much NutriBird you add. There we go, that looks about right. As I say, it's only an average. There we go. You don't want it too thick, but yet again you don't want it like water. Right, so the 2 methods I was referring to, you can either use a syringe, just as it is, or you can have an attachment of a pipette, so you can go further into the bird's crop. I tend to use these when the birds are very young. I remove these babies from day 1, and obviously these syringes are too big for a little baby chick, so the pipettes work really well. The second option would just be a spoon. As your birds start to get older, they will start to accept a spoon, but it can be a bit more of a messy procedure. So first of all, I don't use this method, but I'll show you for video purposes. So you want to suspend the baby there. See, this chick is not used to being spoon fed, but you can see it's still responding. Just feeding response, and as simple as that. But it is a messy procedure. Now this is the method I tend to use with a syringe. Just fill the syringe. You can use it without, as mentioned, but I like to use a pipette. Make sure to squeeze the excess water out and make sure all the feed is all the way to the tip of the pipette. You don't want to be inserting liquid or air into the bird. Also check your syringe if there's any air bubbles. If there are, just tap at the side of the cup until they reach the top, and then get rid of them. Okay, so first feed. Let's remove that. Again, suspend the baby. It'll open his crop, start his feeding response, and in we go. That's that. Now I'll show you in a little bit more detail. So you want to suspend it into the right side of the bird, as shown. The right side of yourself, sorry, and the left side of the bird. You want to place it over the tongue, and sometimes once you place it in, you can see the actual end of the pipette in the bird's crop. Right, one more again. So this time I'll see if I can show you how the feed is entering this side of the crop. Baby will open its mouth, pipette will go in. As you can see, pipette is where my fingers is. I can see it there. And then you insert the feed. Now with a younger chick you'll be able to see it, but unfortunately this chick is starting to grow some feathers. And it can't be seen. So this chick is happy as he is. He's full, you can feel the crop. If it's full, if it has a lot of tension, that's when you know it's full. If it's still a bit scroogey, you can probably add a little bit, but I don't like to overfeed my birds. Right, now for the older chick. Once again, get your syringe filled. Always check your temperature to make sure it's not too cold and not too warm. Place it at the back of your hand like you would as a baby if you're feeding. A little tip what you can do sometimes if you've got multiple babies, the water can get cold or the feed can get cold, so sometimes you can place the container with the feed into another container filled with hot water, and that should keep it at the optimum temperature. Okay, let's feed this baby. As you can see, these birds are used to hand feeding now, and their response is really well. Right, I'll just feed these birds off, the rest of what's remaining. But that essentially is how you hand feed on a basic instructions and guide. This one's getting a little bit cold now. But that's it guys. Make sure to wash off your equipment with hot water to keep it sterile, and before you feed your birds as well. Thanks again for watching, and if you like this video and if it helped you, give it a like and make sure to subscribe.